Welcome to another exciting edition of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and today we are looking at the Kohetsu Western or Yo-handled AS Petty 150mm knife. This line of knives has a core steel of Aogami or blue paper super reactive carbon steel from Hitachi. The heat treat's about 63 to 64 Rockwell on that core steel, and Mark's got a house that's doing some really nice heat treat for him, so it's well heat treated. The construction is a softer stainless, almost kind of semi-stainless because it does stain a little bit, but it is a softer cladding over the top of that reactive core steel at the edge. The weight on the knife is about 98 grams or 3.5 ounces. Blade length is right around 146 on this one, or a little under 6 inches, and the overall length is about 10.2 inches. The spine thickness of the blade coming out of the bolster here is about 2 millimeters. It doesn't have a lot of distal taper, so we'll get a closer look at this, but pretty much maintains a lot of that thickness and then thins out in the last inch or so with the grind of the knife blade. The blade height on this one's about 29 millimeters at the heel. So it's not one of those tall mini Juto style 150 petties. It's more of a utility style or kind of in-between style. The handles are a well-done stabilized wood and a mahogany color. And I've got good fit and finish and flush metal on this particular one. Sometimes the wood can shrink a little bit. Let's take a close-up look at it. If the wood does shrink up a little bit, you can try giving it a good coat of mineral oil, let it soak, and maybe plump back up a little bit. Or you could sand down the metal where it might be bumping up a little bit and causing some issues if you needed to do that. So sometimes the wood can dry out over time. So here's the finish. It is a machine finish, and you can see it. They've got embossed kanji on the right side of the blade. The right side of the blade on these also has a polished, contoured area near the edge that flows into the edge on the right side of the blade. And on the left side of the blade, they've got more of a traditional standard edge on it. The cladding layer is kind of faint, but you can see the cladding and the core steel right at the edge there and kind of a wavy line where that comes through. And of course, that core steel will patina as you use the knife and makes for a cool look. Fit and finish is, as I said, good on this blade. You've got just enough relief on the spine, although you could put a little more on there, but just enough relief to make it so it's not sharp. And you've got some decent relief on the choil, the back of the blade. So these are pretty comfortable right out of the box. Out of the box edge is really quite good. It's about a solid 6 out of 10, I'll give it. And it's really quite sharp and has some good tooth or bite to it. So I think they're pretty well ready to go right out of the box. Bolster is nicely done. It flows into the blade. Balance point on these is going to be pretty far back. It's about where the balance point is. So let's take a look at it on our cutting board. This isn't tall at the heel, as we mentioned, so if you do onboard work, you may have to move your hand so it's off the edge of the countertop and board to give yourself more clearance, depending on your grip and so on. But here is the profile on a cutting board. So it's got a nice profile. It flows gently and gracefully into the heel. Slight flat spot at the heel. Doesn't get real high. I can get about right there before I start digging the tip in, but you can definitely cover shorter, smaller ingredients if you like to rock a little bit. The blade itself is fairly stiff and has a nice feel to it. I like the handle. It does have kind of a, not real rounded, they're kind of a little more squared off edges on that. You could, if you wanted to, sand that down and then refinish it to your liking to smooth out those sharper corners if you wish to do so. It's a little bit more of a blocky handle, but it's not objectionable in my opinion. Again, you could tweak that if you felt like doing it. But just a nice kind of stiff overall feel blade with some little bit of meat to it, and it has great reactive core steel with the stainless cladding over the top of that. And there you have it. It's just a really well executed Yo style petty, the Kohetsu Western Aogami Super Petty 150mm knife.